Hey YouTubers, Al here from They Buy 'em for the Gum. I was been kind of thinking about this little project to try to show off some of the things in my collection and why they are in my collection. So I thought I'd start to talk about 1968 Tigers. If you don't know, I grew up in Detroit, and in 1968 I was 13. Would turn 14 in October. And back then, for most of you who collect earlier stuff, baseball cards came out in a series. So at the beginning of the summer, Series 1 would come out, and then about every 2 or 3 weeks, the next series would hit the stores. So as kids, when we got out of school, one of our favorite things to do was go play baseball. Wasn't a lot to do in Detroit, but there was a lot of baseball diamonds. So we would play baseball, and then we'd go down in the afternoon to buy ice cream. Now in the 50s, there were soda shops with counters and ice cream, but in the 60s, although the counter was still there, it was more of a candy store. And behind the counter, behind the cashier, you could always see the Topps boxes there. So you knew if they had them or they didn't have them, they were in. Now packs back then were a nickel, so spending a quarter or 35 cents, you got quite a few packs and you got some gum. So we always had gum in the summertime. And so we would go down there and we'd buy them, and we'd leave and we'd open and we'd trade. And after the year of 1967, which was so bad in Detroit, 68 Tigers were kind of a surprise. And the team did really well. So as the year progressed, we would watch. Now back then the TV games were not as prevalent as they are now, so most of us had radios, and we'd listen on the radio every night doing our homework or whatever we were doing, and we'd hear the games over the radio, and not much on TV. Now the World Series was on TV in black and white, and we got a chance to watch that when we weren't in school. So as it continued into '68, it became apparent that the Tigers were actually going to play the Cardinals. Now the Cardinals were probably the best team that year all the way around. They had the best pitcher. Gibson had posted an ERA of 1.12, and he didn't lose many games. So in the back of this video here are the 2 World Series programs from 1968. One's the St. Louis Cardinals, and one's the 1968 Tigers. They are part of my collection. And in the middle there is actually a cello pack, unopened, from 1968. And I threw up a couple Tigers. And we all know how important Northrop was in that last game. So the World Series started, and Gibson was usually exactly himself. He won game 1, and he won game 4. Things didn't really look good for us. Didn't like we were going to win. And that last October 10th, we went out to play game 7. So when we were in school, and I was still probably only a 9th grader, they would actually break in every so often and tell us the scores. So as the day progressed and the game kept going on, finally the break came, and we found out that the Tigers won the World Series. Well, the interesting note to this was that October 10th is my birthday. So if you see me online under October 10, you kind of know why I chose that. So I thought I'd add a little history to my collection and put some things in that are from my collection from 1968 and kind of why they're there. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're all collecting. Keep doing it. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.